Hello and welcome back to the channel for the first official video of 2024. Now, I know I did say that I was going to be taking a bit of a break for the first 2 weeks of January. That still is a thing, but I've been seeing videos on my recommended to me by YouTube by a lot of different types of creators on the grounds of is physical media dying or is streaming dying, and it's the same thing on TikTok. The algorithm keeps feeding me these types of videos, and so I want to kind of hopefully throw my 2 cents in uh, on this debate, because I think I kind of have an unique perspective on both sides of the opposition because I've been on both sides of the opposition. Um, when I was subscribed to streaming services, I didn't care about physical media. Now that I'm a physical media collector, I don't have any streaming services. I have YouTube, and that's the only one that I pay for. I pay for YouTube Premium. That's it. So I have about three different guidelines here to hopefully keep me on track, um, and I'll hopefully be able to expand a bit more on those. So let's start off with streaming, the thing that killed physical media. Do I think streaming is dying? Well, let's look at a lot of the stuff that all these different streaming services have done in the past year. Netflix has introduced crackdowns on password sharing, as well as they've introduced a new ad-based tier where for less money you'll get ads on whilst you're watching every now and again, as well as they've increased the amount you need to pay to watch their what they offer in HD quality 1080p, um, as well as to have multiple accounts being able to stream at the same time. They've also done, they've upped that price as well. Disney has upped their prices as well as I think have also introduced an ad-based tier, as well as they have said that they were going to crack down on password sharing. I'm not 100% sure if they have done it or not. Um, then of course there's all the other different mergers, and the main thing is a lot of these streaming services are upping the price on their services as well as introducing ad-based tiers. And that makes sense why they're doing the ads on it, because then they can get paid to have these advertisements play whilst you're watching. But then again, that basically just means it's going back to cable TV. But here's why I don't think streaming is dying after all of that. And that is the casual audience isn't really going to care all that much. You know, and the main reason why I say this is when Netflix introduced their crackdown on password sharing, I saw all over the internet of people saying we should cancel our Netflix subscription, show them that we don't want this, we don't care, we will gladly do this, as well as then go and pirate these shows. And that did not happen. It turns out, it was a successful move on Netflix's part, as it got a lot of new signups for Netflix. And that's what I mean by the casual audience just doesn't give a fuck about this. Yes, they might complain about the price increases. Yes, they might cancel these services, but the casual audience just doesn't care. They just want to come home at the end of a long, busy workday, stick on Netflix, stick on Max, stick on Disney or Paramount Plus. But to be honest, who the fuck is really subscribed to Paramount Plus? Um, and watch, just stick on one of their comfort shows, being Friends, The U.S. Office, which is a shit show, by the way. I switched it off within the first 5 seconds. Or was that Rick and Morty? Yeah, Rick and Morty I switched off in 5 seconds. I can't remember how long it took for me to switch off the US office. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. So the casual audience is what's going to keep these streaming services going. That's why I don't think streaming is going to die. Yes, there is a massive streaming bubble with every major studio wanting a piece of that pie, and that's why you know they've gone and made their own streaming services. That's how we got Disney Plus. That's how we got HBO Max, which is now Max. That's how we got Paramount Plus, which used to be known as CBS All Access, which, to be honest, it's been a thing since 2017, Paramount Plus, and it has absolutely nothing on it. And if there is any streaming service to announce that they're closing their doors, it's gonna be Paramount. Let's be real here. Hell, even Lionsgate has their own streaming service, um, and so does Amazon. Even Apple has their own streaming service. There are a lot of streaming services out there, but at the end of the day, the casual audience is just going to stick with what they know. Why? Because let's look at it this way: you get home, you sit down, you pour yourself a drink, a beverage of your choice, and you sit down after you make your dinner. If you were like me, a physical media collector, and you want to watch one of your many DVDs and Blu-rays, there are extra steps you have to take before you can properly relax, and that is go to your media shelves, pick what you want to watch. That could take a while. If you're me, that could take a while. Then immediately go back to where your TV is. Hope that you actually have a player to play, either a DVD player, Blu-ray player, 4K player, PlayStation 2, Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, Xbox One, all those disc-based systems that also have built-in DVD and Blu-ray players, and then put the disc in and then load it up. That's extra steps that you have to do. Whereas if you're someone who has the casual audience who has a streaming service, it's just a case of sitting down and queuing it up. It takes less time than it does if you have physical media in your collection. So that's why I think streaming is here to stay. Now, that I'm going to put a little asterisk on that because I could be wrong. I've always had the thought process the past couple of years that streaming is going to have their video game crash of 83, meaning that the whole reason why there was a video game crash was because of oversaturation in the market. And yes, streaming definitely has an oversaturation in the market. As I listed off a bunch of different streaming services, you got Netflix, you got Disney, Amazon, Apple, Lionsgate, Paramount. The list is endless of how many different streaming services that's available. Um, and it's going to get to the point where it is an oversaturation and the bubble will burst. Whether or not that happens, I don't know, because again, I'm thinking of it as a casual fan, as a casual person enjoying streaming services because it's just there. So that is my reasoning as to why I don't think streaming is going to die anytime soon. So what about physical media? Is physical media dead or dying? The sad truth is yes, kind of. And again, I'm going to have to put an asterisk by there. So what do I mean by that? Is, well, yes, you know, physical media sales have been on a massive decline ever since streaming got popular in the last decade. That means a lot of people aren't going. Only those who collect, like myself, will go out and buy it. And usually, if you're like me, you 99.99% of 99.99% of the time, you won't buy new. you'll rather buy used if you have the chance. Um, and you'll wait for it to become cheaper used than you would be paying online or brand new. So that mindset that I have is also affecting, sales of brand new um, DVDs and Blu-rays and stuff. But there's also a casual side to this as well, and that is DVDs. Like DVDs is still a popular sell compared to Blu-ray and 4K and all these boutique labels because again, the casual audience doesn't necessarily care about what quality the 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 material that they watch is, and that's why they'll always go for DVD. Plus, DVD is always cheaper than it is buying Blu-ray, buying 4K, or buying Steelbook, 4K Steelbook, or Blu-ray Steelbook, or any of that stuff. Usually, DVDs are always cheaper, and that's that casual side of things. They'll go for what's cheapest. Now, there's also again Best Buy. They've already started removing physical media or have already removed all physical media in all of their stores. It's gone. They'll never sell physical media again. And that sucks. You know, a lot of people got would go there to buy their physical media stuff. But at the same time, I can understand why they might have gotten rid of it. And that is, it's taking up space for something that isn't bringing in a lot of money. So why lose money on having this whole area dedicated to physical media that isn't bringing in a lot of money, whereas they could, maybe add a couple of freezers or add a couple more shelves to add to put more product that food product that people will actually buy more of. It's a grocery store. People go there to buy their groceries. Like that's why, like I know my local Tesco. Sorry, that's why I know my local Tesco. Like it still sells physical media. It's mainly DVDs though. Rarely will I see Blu-rays unless it's a new release. Then they might actually, have Blu-rays of it then. But that's too and far in between. Um, so I understand why Best Buy went that route. But physical media isn't dead completely. Christopher Nolan, when he was finally able to do the press for Oppenheimer after it came out, but just before the physical media versions came out, he lobbied and told people that are fans of his work to go out and buy this on either DVD or Blu-ray or 4K, preferably 4K, because that's the best quality you're going to get for to watch his movie. And that way, streaming won't have access to it and can't pull it, because that's another thing. Another negative about streaming services, they can and will pull things. Plus, it's also a downgrade essentially for streaming something versus watching it on disc. Because on disc, it's perfectly optimized for the quality and the player that it's playing on. Whereas streaming, there's a bit of latency. It could lag. It could go. If your internet isn't great, it might go down in quality and stuff. And that worked. 4Ks for Oppenheimer when it came out on physical sold out everywhere. You could not buy 4Ks of Oppenheimer. You could for Blu-rays and DVDs, but not 4K. And that I haven't heard that happening ever. Since I started collecting physical media, I haven't heard of something like this happening, and that's great to see that there are still people that are going out and buying the 4Ks of this fantastic film, and it shows to me and it shows to these companies that physical media is not dead, that there's still an audience for it. Granted, it probably will end up going the way of any physical release is for the collectors and only the collectors, and then there'll be like limited releases. I mean, look at gaming. For example, the current generation of consoles, the PlayStation 5, the Xbox Series X, and as it's rumored, I don't know if this is true or not, the new Nintendo console has two versions. They have the disc-based system for more money, or you could buy the digital version for a lot less money. But then again, when you buy digital, you don't really own it because, again, these companies have the power to pull these things from you that you paid money for if you bought it digitally. Now I know there's going to be those types of people that are like, well, you should just go and pirate the things. That way you don't have to pay for it on physical media. You don't have to pay streaming services to watch it. You can just go pirate it. And to that I say, I don't want to. If I have no other option, that's the route I will go. But as a physical media collector, I will always go for the a physical media purchase first. If I can buy it on physical, I will. If I can't and I'm left with no other option, then I will have to go down that other route. But yeah, it just sucks that, even with gaming now, that if you want a disc-based system, you have to pay more for it. For like the new Xbox, the new PlayStation 3, and rumored, I'm gonna have to stress this enough, as rumored, so take it with a pinch of salt, for the new Nintendo system. So hopefully I managed to get across my thoughts and opinions on why both streaming isn't dying anytime soon, nor is physical media. I will always buy physical media over streaming. That's just the way I am. I'd rather watch it in the best quality that I can, which for me right now is just Blu-ray. Um, but at the same time, I do collect DVDs. You can see them right behind me on my displays. I do have DVDs. I don't just collect Blu-rays. Because at the end of the day as well, if the DVD is cheaper than the Blu-ray, especially for TV shows, I'll usually pick that up. Um, and then I might pick the Blu-ray up later down the line. But that's just the way I collect. So let me know in the comments below what you think of the two topics that I talked about. What are your takes on this? Do let me know down in the comments below. I'm eager to hear what you have to say. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I will be back on Saturday for a pickups video, and then the proper return will be on the 15th of this month. So thank you all for watching once again, and I shall see you all on Saturday.